Hello everyone. Today I will show you how we can self-host the KubeDB UI on your own. So for that we need some prerequisites. So let's discuss the prerequisites first. First of all, we need a VM. That VM has to be a minimum of 4 vCPU, 16 gig of memory, and 50 gig of attached storage onto it. For today's demo purpose, we are going to use the EC2 instance with this specification. I have already created that EC2 instance on my US East 1 region. And this VM is up and running. I'm going to use this ACE demo VM for today's demo. So let's connect to this VM first. Okay, we are connected to this VM. Now in this VM, we are going to deploy a K3s cluster. It is a basic Kubernetes cluster that will holds all the UI components. So once this VM setup is done, we are going to create some other cluster, like some EKS cluster, GK cluster. That part will not be part of this demo, but the idea is you can connect or import some other clusters to this UI. This is the idea that we implemented. And one more thing, you need the credentials to log into the appscode.com site. And in that appscode.com site, you are going to create a self-host installer. So this self-host installer will hold all the commands. Those are needed to actually install these UI components in the K3s cluster. So we have created this VM with this specification. Now we're going to create the installer part. So I have already logged in the appscode.com site in my account. So let's click on the self-host. And let's switch back to my organization, appscode.dev. Okay. Now click on create new installer. Okay. So here you can see there are multiple deployment type like cloud demo, on-prem demo, self-hosted production, those stuffs. This is the very basic thing, that cloud demo part. I'm going to show you today this one. And I'll show you the other ones in some separate video, obviously. So for the cloud demo purpose, we need the installer name firstly. So let's name it ACE demo or something. In the target IP section, we need to give the target IP here. So copy the public IP and paste it down. Here we can specify some password. I want to specify that. So these are the basic fields you need to you have to fill up. And there is some other fields, optional fields. Let's see what are those. In the registry section, you will be able to like specify the Docker registries if you use some private registry on your own. And similarly, the Helm repositories will be come out from your private repository. And these credentials and certs and image pool secrets are actually to communicate with that private registry. So this registry part is done. And in the settings part, you should see the domain whitelisting part and the progress server part. So you can specify those in these fields. And there is also some interesting fields here, like login URL and logout URL. This login URL can be used to actually like prompt the users to log in onto some other URLs, not in the UI authentication. So they will log in some other login URL, and they will like redirect it to the actual UI to communicate with the clusters. So this is the settings part. Let's see what is on the self-management part. In the self-management part, it holds like what features you can enable and what features you can like disable on the installation part. So I'm disabling cert manager because I will install the cert manager by kubectl apply command. And here are the branding things. So this branding actually holds the color combination, the logo, and the favicon icons that actually represent the brand of your company. So here it is. Let's click on done. Perfect. So this self-hosted installer has been successfully created now, and you can see that there is some instruction like create the KTS cluster, installing the Helm, Cert Manager stuff, and then install the Fluxity and ultimately the ACE installer. So this ACE installer Helm chart actually install everything needed to actually run the UI components. So let's first run copy this command and paste it down. We need to first make it a root user. So paste it down. Perfect. So as you can see, this command, this KTS cluster creation command, it is creating the KTS cluster. Then it will wait for the coordinates to be ready and then install the Helm and install the cert manager stuffs. So everything has been applied. So if we get all ports in the cluster, and you should see everything is up and running. So let's wait for this to be running. Perfect. Everything is running. Now I'm going to this OpenShift is not needed, so I'm skipping this one because this is OpenShift cluster specific. And here deploy ACE. So I'm going to deploy the Fluxity and ACE installer now. Just paste it down. It will first check if it is possible to install the Flux in this cluster. And once it find out that it is possible, it will create 4 controllers, namely the source controller, Helm controller, notification controller, and there was another one. So after that, this ACE installer pre-check will be check that the ACE can be installed on this cluster. And once the pre-check is done, this Helm command will be applied with these values. These values actually hold all the information that we gave on the previous creation page. So let's see what is happening. Nice. So the Helm install command has been successfully ran, and it will bring up the components one by one, like QBB, QStash, ACE, Panopticon, all the required features that that's needed to actually run the UI up and running. So it usually takes around 7 to 10 minutes. So let's wait for this one. I'm fast forwarding from now on. Okay, so I'm back. Here I can see every features is ready, as you can see, and it took around like 9 minutes or something to make every features to be ready. And now if we go back to the self-host link and try to access that UI, you should see the front page of the Apps Code. Yep, perfect. And here the username is admin and this password is the password I have set. So let's copy this out and log in. Okay, I have successfully able to log in with that IP. And here another interesting thing is that I didn't specify in that VM these ports has to be opened up. So this is the port requirement for our UI to be accessible. And in the action step, if you want to change some configuration, like you want to after creating the self-host installer, you want to change something, you can do this obviously in the reconfigure page. And here you should see that initial organization name was apps code. So here an extra organization has been created named apps code. So you can name it something else, obviously. And this is the platform UI. So all the platform related information like site administration, if you are logged in as a admin, I have logged in as an admin because I'm the admin of this UI. And some user organization, those settings can be configurable from here. I will get the details onto that in some other videos. And here some other UI also integrated, which is console UI, KubeDB UI, and Grafana UI. So if I click on that console UI, you should see that the UI cluster that holds all the UI components is also accessible from this UI. So let's wait for this to be loaded. And that has been imported as the organization. So here you can see this ACE cluster, that actually the UI cluster. It is also accessible as another cluster from the UI. So that's it. That's it for today. I'll show the other details in some other video. So yeah, have a good day.